This is the StudioDesk Commander V2, my new desk here at home. Prior to this, I had the IKEA Freddy, and been saving up money for a while and wanted to upgrade. Actually, I wanted to get one of these a very long time ago, and just couldn't start off with it because it was a little more pricey than what I could afford at the time. But when you go out looking for a studio desk, or at least this was my impression, um, I saw a lot of kind of 80s and 90s looking furniture out there, and there's a few companies out there that make a nice modern looking studio desk, and which, in my opinion, is a great gaming desk as well. But this company's studio desk is one of them, and I was originally going to get the Beat series, but around Christmas time they had a special running on this desk with free shipping, no tax, and a pretty good price. So I bit the bullet and went ahead and got this one. Now this one's quite a bit bigger than the Beat. There's a nice spec sheet on Studio Desk's website, but you gotta have a pretty decent sized room. This is the bonus room in my house, so I think it's around 20 by 20. So you can kind of get a sense of the layout or where it's sitting. You know, there's a little bit of space on each side, but not much. So if you've got a smaller room, you're definitely going to go with the Beat, which is a great desk. It's just that this desk fit this room better. I am generally not a fan of desks that have a board or something going along the bottom of the desk, which you can see this one does. Although it doesn't really get in my way, and it's needed for stability when you're first assembling the desk. But actually, I think you could probably remove it once the desk is assembled. I went ahead and left mine in, but that's kind of your call. One of my impressions when I first got the desk, it was shipped in a pallet. Very secure, no worries. In fact, the pallet weighed about 400 pounds. So that might be a concern if you know, don't have the means to receive that properly. I met the guy when he dropped it off. Excuse me a second, just moving this chair. And he helped me push it up the driveway into my garage, where it stayed for a pretty good long time until I had the ability to unpack it and put it together. And you know, online I see people saying stuff all the time, like it's ridiculous to pay X amount of dollars for an MDF made desk or something like that. But let me reassure you, this desk, no matter how you want to think of how it's made, is solid as a rock and very, very heavy and very secure. Even just one of these legs, I don't know exactly how heavy it is, but I'm a pretty big guy, and I'll tell you right now, it's pretty heavy. So, very well made, very secure. The top board on the desk right here, solid as a rock. And, you know, this is around the time of uncertainty in the world with all this COVID, flu, virus nonsense that's going on. And at the time I bought this desk, I didn't realize I would be forced to sit home and work at it for, 3 or 4 months or however long we've been going now. And it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm actually so thankful that I had this to work at this entire time. So let's talk specs for a sec. This top shelf right here, from floor to shelf, right here, is going to be about 32.5 inches high. So it's pretty high. I'm using this chair right here, which I got from Staples, and it's kind of a gaming high back chair, and I usually sit with it all the way up, and I'm 6'3", and the reason is just to kind of give you a normal table feel when you're sitting there. Now, when I'm playing guitar or working on stuff, sometimes I'll set it in the lowest position and scoot up, but this pad right here that it comes with comes in multiple colors for your arms to rest on. And when I first saw it online, I thought, man, that looks kind of gimmicky, but man, If I don't say, it's fantastic. It's not too soft, not too hard, very comfortable. And as you can see, the way I have it configured here is I've got my laptop kind of sit in the middle, wired up a little audio interface right there, and KRK Rocket 6s, I believe, sitting on the shelves right there, which are angled downward, kind of nice. They're angled downward very slightly. And let me tell you, when you're sitting in front of this thing, the way it puts you right in the sweet spot of the speakers, so you don't have to worry about scooting back or putting them on some other, platform or whatever behind it. It's sweet. It has these rack-mounted facilities here on the side, and just to show you what I did, you might be able to see right here, I've got this brush plate to hold the empty spaces. And what I decided to do, after thinking about it for a little bit, was I just bought some of these Furman power distributors and surge protector distributors, whatever. And I was looking at my wall here, and I actually have an outlet on both sides, so I just got two of them, one on each side, and that way I can kind of run half the power on one side, half on the other to split the load. And not only that, but it's really nice having this little plug right here on the desk. So if I am working with equipment on top of the desk, I don't have to crawl underneath the desk to get to the power supply to, hook something up. And that's probably been one of the best parts. I left it open there so you can kind of see under there what it looks like a little bit. Now, if there's one or two negative things I will say about the desk, it's this. You see that little bar running behind in the rack mounted area back there? That's going to make it where you can't put a super long piece of rack mounted equipment, at least not in the top couple of spaces. I ran into that when the very first power supply I got was too long, and I went and got this one, which has been fine, but just plan ahead. The second small gripe I have is the way this shelf is made. You cannot get to this screw hole position right here to put your rack gear in. Now, it's not that bad to pull it out and take it all apart, whatnot. But if you're moving stuff around frequently, that's kind of annoying. So you see, what I did was I just left that position blank because I didn't want to deal with it, and I just kind of used these two lower positions. And I left this open right here so you can see inside there, but I'm going to close that up after I finish this video. Monitor keyboard just sitting out front right here. I got this giant mouse pad on Amazon, which has actually been great, so I would highly recommend one of those too. Kind of a shared, when you're sitting here at the desk, it keeps you from scarring up your desk, and just kind of a nice, something warm to lay your hands on while you're working instead of the cold desk. What else we got here? Probably the best thing I did, well, let me back up a little bit. One of the features of the desk is it's got this shelf. See this center shelf right here? Right here. It is adjustable up and down. So you can probably see in that shot right there, there's some rails on each side. And it's a good concept. However, there's 4 screws. You got to unscrew all of them. It's very clumsy to try to get it level, and very awkward to try to, move it up and down. It's, in other words, I think they kind of pitch it like something you can adjust easily. It's not really something you can adjust easily. It can be adjusted, but it's not just a quick, move this up and down and we're good to go type thing. So what I did, I love the desk so much, not too worried about that. So what I did was I just mounted it pretty firmly in the top position, and on Amazon I got one of these Amazon swing arms to mount my monitor right there. Now that monitor is a HP Omen 32, so it's a pretty big boy. You can kind of get I'm sitting at the chair right now, so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like when you're sitting here. And man, I gotta tell you, that Amazon mount swing arm has been the best thing ever, because I can push it back when I'm working here at the desk and have kind of plenty of room. I can pull it forward if I'm gaming or working on computer programming, or if I'm working on some music stuff and I need to see something a little more clearly. easily move it forward. So I would highly recommend one of those. I'm going to include a link for the swing arm, this mat, and some of the other various things in the video, just in case you might want to do a similar setup as what I did. One other thing that's a little strange is that when I ordered the desk, I did not pay for this piece, which kind of scoots under the desk, kind of like a keyboard tray. And I don't have it in here right now just because I wanted a little bit extra room, but it's not bad to have it in there. It doesn't really hit your knees too bad. I just don't have it in there at the moment. But since they have a distribution center in the United States, my guess is when I placed the order, they had the color there that I wanted and just went ahead and sent me this one. So it was kind of sweet for me because I got a pretty sweet deal on the desk anyway, and then I essentially got the keyboard tray for free, which, as you can see, it's just as hefty as the desk itself. Very heavy, very well made. So, there's a couple of gripes, nothing serious, but overall, StudioDesk did a amazing job on this desk. I think it's time to christen it. I've been waiting for a few months to do this, so oh yeah, feels good. Well, except for the fact that I just ripped the StudioDesk logo off when I did that. Okay, sorry about that. No harm, no foul. I didn't realize those letters on the side of the desk were just stickers that are stuck on there. I thought it was like a print, so take care whenever you're taking the covering sticker off. Okay, so 23 inches from the opening of the rack to the edge of the desk right there. From the very back of the desk to kind of the edge of the front keyboard tray right there, 35 inches. 32.5 from the floor to the top of the desk right there, and 39.5 from the floor to the very top of the desk right there. Here's what it looks like in the back. Give you an idea how the lighting works and how the cable management's done. There's just a little tray, you can probably see it right there just above the lights where you can zip tie stuff to, but it's not a lot of room, so I just kind of wrapped it around that bar running from side to side. So that's how I did it. Now there's a lot more lighting that comes with this. I just didn't wire it all up. So there's a little bit of lighting that goes into each leg to make the legs kind of glow a little in the dark. And then I just put one strip across the back, and it does come with this remote where you can change it to all kinds of different colors. So pretty cool there. One other thing I would recommend you do is just get some floor sliders to move it around on. These are not that attractive, but they do work well because this desk is heavy. And I move it around a lot just to get around behind it to rewire stuff, just because I don't, fully have it set up the way that I am going to keep it for a long time just yet, but it's pretty close. Anyways, there's the StudioDesk Commander V2. It's a fantastic desk. I plan on keeping it for a long time, and I highly recommend it. It's good for music composition, computer programming, computer gaming, or just hanging out, or whatever you want to do if you've got the room. Very nice. I think there was one measurement we missed. Let me get that. Alright, another measurement here. From one side to the other, it's about 78 inches. I'm sticking out a little on the other side, but yeah, if I pull it, let's see, right there. So maybe, yeah, right at 77. It's going to be a little longer on top. Okay, check this out. On StudioDesk's website, if you scroll down right below check price here, when you get to features, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a download quick comparison sheet right there. And this is a spec sheet that'll show you all the different measurements and comparisons among all the desks that they sell. So, that helped me a lot whenever I was considering which one may work for me. Because how much room you want on the desk is a consideration as well, because for a while I was kind of taking a look at the Enterprise, right? And I'm not saying the Enterprise is not a good desk, but I was concerned that the distance from, as you can see right there, it looks like there's not a great deal of different distance between the front of the desk to the beginning of the rack right there. And this one's not quite as wide, which may work better for some people. So anyway, depending on how many rack units you have, and whether you're going to work at it all the time or not, or that's going to give you a little bit of nice comparison and consideration. Really, a lot of respect going out to StudioDesk for making these really great desks. I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air with all the other stuff available out there. I mean, I just can't say enough how awesome they are. A little pricey. You can try to wait for a sale if that's an issue, or just do like I did and set a goal for yourself and put a little bit of money back each month, and when you get there, you get there. And I started out with an IKEA Freddy, which is a great desk as well. Not near on the scale of quality as this, but not near the price either. So you just do what you can do at the moment, and then look to the future for something you want when you can get there. Alright guys, thanks a lot. If you got any questions, put them in the comments down below, and hopefully that gave you a good idea about the StudioDesk. Last thing, here's a quick example just to give you a sense of how much room you actually have on this thing. So you see I got my keyboard and mouse right there in the middle. Plenty of room for the Kemper stage on the right there. And maybe even some other pedals sitting out over here. So lots of room to work, lots of room to create. Alright guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, but hopefully that gave you a good idea about the StudioDesk Commander V2, and appreciate you taking a look.